everyone. So I was thinking, what else could I make to go with the fairy dress, and I decided to make a magic wand. Starting on making it now. All I've got is a paper star which I've downloaded, and I will cut this on a pattern for you. And I had 2 long pieces of fabric left which I've just joined in the middle. I folded it in half so it's just big enough to take my star like that. I'm just going to pin it on there. But what I want to do is I don't want to stitch all of this, so what I want to do is to stop stitching about here, leave that much open, and stop stitching about here. So I'm going to leave the whole of this part of it open when I come around. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. It's another good way of using up any scraps you might have. So that should be good. So let's face up and put that on so that it's face down, like that. And I'm just going to pop a few pins in around the sides, just to hold it in place. And a pin in there. Right, so now what I want to do is keep this one open. So where I marked it on here, I'm just going to come across and I'm going to mark it just with pencil or chalk where I want to leave it open, so I don't want to stitch any of this, and then we are going to take it to the sewing machine. So here we are, and this is where my mark is. I'm just going to come up here until I get up to about here, and then I'm going to turn. Just got it on an ordinary straight stitch. A few back stitches. Right the way up. I'm just doing it on that 3/8 of an inch. I'll do my needle down, and I'm going to swizzle it around, just coming over, just over there like that. Just coming into the centre of that point, and then I'm going to turn it. And then come down this one as well. There we go. Turn that one around. My foot back on. For the last bit further. That's it. And come around again, and we're just going to come down just a little, and then we're going to do a back stitch. Okay, and there you have it. Alright, let's go back to the table. So here it is, all cut out, and now what we're going to do is anywhere we're going to come around and we're going to snip anywhere near those points. So one there, one in there, one in here, one in here. And I'm going to trim that point down there. Just going to trim it like that, down to there, and like that to there, and then cut those 2 bits down a bit. Like that. I think that's going to give us better point. Let's have a look, see if that works better. Yeah, that is better, isn't it? I'm not going to get a point. Yeah, that's definitely better, isn't it? I'll go back round and I'll just trim them all off, the ones which we haven't trimmed. There's a little star. I worked a good while on it, about 5 minutes or so, just pushing it in to the ends, and actually use an end of a pencil and actually to get those points to come through. Took a while. So the next thing we're going to do is a dowel, piece of dowel. I've just got my hot glue gun here, warming up. What we're going to do is we're going to just put a tiny bit on it at a time, as this, and you want to get it so that it's sort of sloping. I'm going to put the tiniest bit of glue. You don't need very much for this, just to start it off there, and then put that on, and you want it to be on a little bit of a slope like that, and try not to burn yourself. Okay, now I'll just hold that for a minute. Okay, there we go, get that in place. And then don't worry too much about putting that, because that'll go inside, so you actually won't get to see too much of that. We're going to come it around and wind it around, and what I would like to do is just to come on with the glue gun and put a small amount of glue just on it, a very small amount, and then just keep winding it and keeping that small amount of glue, just holding that in, and then another small amount. Don't burn yourself. Keep that going over. That's it. If you do get a big lob of glue coming out the top there, what you can do is just go back afterwards and pick it off, because it'll just pick away. So this roll was, I think, a 2 meter roll of ribbon. We've not used the whole row, so that's okay. When we get to the end, I'm sort of nearly sort of straight. I want to just finish this off with a little lump. Okay, so I'm just going to come around, and I'm just going to do one. Too much glue. Make sure you don't get this anywhere near the glue. You don't want that getting on your dressmaking scissors. Like that, and I'm just going to fold it in under. Give that a good press with your fingers. Got a lovely covered stick. Quite cute. So here we have our little star, and I've got some stuff, and I'm just popping it inside. I don't want it to be massive. I just want it to come in and sit nicely inside my little star. I want it to go into those little points and push out on those little points there. So what I did was I took my ribbon, notice, and I took these lollipop sticks, and I don't know if you know how to curl ribbon, this type of ribbon that you can put it in the oven. So I wrapped it really, really tightly for the length of the ribbon that I want, and I just kept wrapping it and wrapping it and wrapping it. And then I took one of these clips and I clipped the end over so that it was sort of clipped onto the stick like that, and popped it on there like that, and then I popped it into the oven on a baking tray, and I put it in at 220 for I think about 20 minutes, and then I will show you what it comes out like once you've done that. So if you just pull it off, you'll see you've got a lovely twisted curly ribbon. Okay, so you pull it off, the whole thing, and there you go. So there's your ribbon. It's all lovely and twisted and curly. So I'm going to stitch these on, but I'm also going to put a piece of glue on there. Now, if you're going to be making this for children who are under 3, I would suggest not putting a bell on it. Just tie that there, and that's going to come at the top here, and that can hang right at the very top of the stick here. I'm going to tie it on there, and then I'm going to stitch it. You want it underneath the star, I think. I won't want it that near the top, and then we can stitch the star on top of it. I'll do double knot that, and then I'll come over it and I'll make sure I put some stitches into it to hold up that into there. So that's there, because a star obviously is going to come. So whilst I've got the hot glue out, I'm just going to stick on the ribbons which you've got here. I will also put a stitch into them as well, but they will be inside of our star, so they'll come from the inside of the star. Just be really careful when you're sticking it on that you don't burn yourself, because that glue is hot. Okay, so I've got that one. That's quite pretty. If when you've put it on you find that one of the ribbons are too big, just cut a piece off it. That's really cute. That's looking nice. I'm just going to turn the glue off a minute. So I'm just going to put in a few staying stitches. I'm just going to basically stitch all the ribbons together. So I popped a knot on it. I'm just going to come around and I'm going to stitch them to each other and stick underneath. So I'm going to make sure it goes into that ribbon, which is right underneath, which we glued on. So I'll just keep going around, pushing the needle into that ribbon. Hopefully you can see that through there, and I want to do about 10 stitches or so just to make sure that stays fastened. Star on. What I'm going to try and do is come out through the middle of my star where I've attached it to the centre of the stick. So instead of stitching it straight there, I'm going to come out here roughly in the middle of it, and then just put a stitch through to the back, just a small one, so be very small, and then come right the way through. And I know that that is all sort of stitched on there, and that will just give that little bit of an extra support. I don't want to put it too tight, but what I do want to do is look for where the middle of it is, and it's almost there. And I'm going to come in, grab a bit of my stick, get it right in there, put it in my middle, and I'm going to put that into that ribbony bit there and poke it through. That's it. Can you see? And that was a bit difficult to see, but hopefully you got the gist of it. Basically, I'm going in and I'm coming through the stick, and then I'm going to come out the other side. Just going to give that extra support holding that on there. Right, so I've got 2 buttons somewhere, and I'm going to stitch it in the centre almost. And get that go right through. If you can find that stick in there, then you can get it to go in to the fabric. That would be quite good. Give it another stitch. Got it. There we go. And then on this side I've got another one, back and forward about 10 times, because I want to make sure this is going to be played with by the children, so I don't want this coming off no matter what. I put in my other 5 stitches whilst the camera was turned off because it was getting a bit tricky, and then we're going to come in and we're just going to stitch all the way from here, and we're going to do a little sort of stitch all the way along, keeping that sort of point in that point shape. So I've put a knot in the end of my fabric, and I'm going to come in here to where that last stitch was there, which we did on the sewing machine. Fold those pieces in under on both sides so you've got no raw edges showing, like that. Okay, I'm going to come in, make sure it's poked in so it's just laying nicely. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of fabric from this side, okay, and we're going to pull that through, and then we're going to take a tiny bit of fabric from that side, like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to work all the way along there, doing that the whole way. So there we go, so we've got that stitched right the way along there. Okay, and I'm just going to come in now, straighten them up. Oh, it's looking really cute, isn't it? Yeah, that's really cute. So I'm just going to come in now, and I'm going to tie a knot here. So one in there, and put it around and pull it out. Right, so once you've got your knot, you're going to take your needle and you're going to push that whole thing down, so you're pushing your needle and it's not coming, and it's coming up inside through, not coming out the back at all. It's coming through out like that, and then you're going to pull it out and you're going to give that a little tug, just a gentle one like that, and that will make that knot disappear up inside. Okay, and then you can cut that there, and you have a nice, and your button will have gone up inside. So there it is. It's looking really nice. I'm just going to stitch on this piece, and then I might stitch on a bow as well. I might put some of that yellow and stitch this in place. I found this and I liked that. I think that might be nice. I just wanted a little bit of blue somewhere on it. I just thought it would be right because it's mostly blues and pinks and that. I'm just going to put that one on it. That's quite nice. And I'll tie a ribbon here on this side. Like that. I'm just finishing it off now. I'm not going to bore you with just watching me putting this last stitches in, but I am going to come in and stitch the this blue and the ribbon in. I'm going to use about 10 stitches or so. Make sure it's really nice and firm and held in place. I don't want any child getting this into their mouth or anything, and there being any accidents. So I'm going to give that a really good stitch in there, both the bow and that bell. Yeah. So I should go ahead and do that, and then I shall come back and let you see what it looks like when it's finished. And here it is, all finished. Abracadabra. It's looking really adorably cute. It looks really nice when you've got it stitched up like that, with the ribbons hanging down on it like that. You've got a bow here on this side, and I put another bow on that side as well, so that's looking really, really cute.